We have contact. This thing works pretty well. Hi, my name is Dennis Regan, and this is Quantum Zilch. This is episode 3 of Quantum Zilch. And on the first 2 episodes, we went kind of long on some of the extracurricular activities, and I didn't get to teach you anything that I had hoped to. So we're going to make some changes around here. One thing I want to do is I want to start to transition into using abbreviations more often. For example, instead of saying Quantum Zilch, I'm just going to use the initials QZ. QZ, right there, you know. You know what I'm talking about? I know what I'm talking about, and we just keep moving. Also, I'm not going to say episode. I'm not going to say episode 3 or episode 7 or episode 612. I'm going to say E for the word episode, and I'll say E37, E38, and that'll just keep us moving along. You know what I'm saying. And I'll try to find some other ways to find some shortcuts to kind of streamline things. Okay? All right. Now, when I say we're going to be abbreviating things or streamlining things, I don't mean we're going to be rushing. We're going to take our time with things, but we'll find those shortcuts when we can. One of the shortcuts I found here is I want to do, instead of talking a lot about the robot on each episode, sometimes I'll just give you a quick, what I call a robot report. And that's what I'm going to give you today. A little progress report, robot progress report. And remember, the last time we were together, I had the problem of trying to get all of the legs to be the same size. Well, I've done that. I've accomplished that. What I did was I took the smallest one. I decided to make the 2 longer ones the same size as the smallest one, and by cutting them. And so I've done that. And what happened was, in the process of cutting, I ended up with a couple of remnants, 2 remnants, and I was just going to discard them. But I learned my lesson in episode 2, E2. I learned my episode, and I'm going to discard them more carefully when I get a chance. So that's the end of the quick robot progress report. Now, most of you out there watching this are watching this on what is known as the worldwide Internet. And the Internet has been great. It's a huge explosion of information and knowledge that's just out there for anybody to grab. And like, if you wanted to know if Napoleon's step-cousin ever had tonsillitis, it's easy to find out. Nowadays, you just jump on Google, or you hit Yeehaw, and you find the answer you're looking for, and that's been great. But the Internet was not the first explosion of information. The first explosion of information and knowledge happened back in the 15th century in Germany. A guy named Johann Gutenberg came along, and what people think he invented the book and invented printing. From what I understand, printing had been around a little bit, but it wasn't very good, and he kind of perfected it. And not perfected, I don't even think it's still perfected, but he improved on it to the point where it made sense to do it at kind of a large level. And he made the first book, and it was a Bible. Actually, it was a 2-volume book, and it became known as the Gutenberg Bible. It's still known as the Gutenberg Bible. And he made, I think, like 180 or some number around that of them, and copies of them. And they went around the world to different people. And some of them still exist today. Some of them, there's, I think, about 45 of them still in existence, and they're worth a lot of money. They're considered the most valuable book out there. And you can get, like, if you picked one up, you can get like $45 million for it. No, 30 million, whatever. 30 million. 45 is how many of them there are. I think it's like 30. It depends on what someone will pay. But if you're ever to be able to bump into one of these at a yard sale or a swap meet or something like that, pick it up. And, you know, it'd be a nice payday for you. The second book that they made, that was ever made, was it's still around. They've printed a lot more, and it's still in print. I got one of these. It's the Bible for the Ungifted, and you can still pick that up somewhere. I got this at a thrift shop, and I'm going to read that, but I got a lot of books to read already. I got the robot books to read. But what happened was after the Bible was printed and went around the books, other people started saying, hey, I'll make some books. And they did. And they made a lot of books, and they went all around the world, and people just started printing, and information started, because before that, what happened was there wasn't that many books. You had to handwrite books. You had to write them out. Not too many people wanted to do that. Not that many people knew how to write. And the people that did know how to write, they didn't feel like writing all day. Not too many people knew how to read. And there really was no real reason to learn how to read because there wasn't that many books to read. But after these guys started printing books, and everybody's going, hey, I'll learn how to read. So they did, and that's when knowledge really started to spread around the world. That was the first big explosion. And this, the worldwide internet, is probably the biggest thing since then. So that's the first time I've ever been able to teach you anything on here on QZ, because on E1 and E2 I ran out of time, but I think I'm getting a little bit better with my time management. And some of you are wondering, what is this guy going to be teaching exactly? Well, just a lot of things. All the ologies: sociology, criminology, biology, vocabulary, history. They're not ology. They're not. But logi, the word logi is Latin or Greek or something. It means the study. And omni is I'm going to be teaching omniology here. Everything. Omni is another word, is a root word for everything. I don't know if it's a word or if it's not a word, but some people think it isn't. But I'm going to use it. Omniology. It's the study of everything. You come here to learn everything. And that's what we're going to be doing here. Now, some of you out there are probably thinking or asking yourselves, well, how is this guy qualified to teach me anything, let alone everything? And that's an excellent question. I'm glad that you're thinking out there. I'm glad that you're using your head. And I wish I had time to answer that question right now. I don't. We're about out of time. And I'll put that on the schedule here for another time. But what I do want to say is this. The fact that you're thinking and the fact that you're asking those questions is great. And that means you are well on your way to earning one of these. This is a certificate of creative this is a certificate of cognitive activity. And these are within your grasp. And they're very rare. These are extremely rare. These are more rare than the Gutenberg Bible, for example. When you get one of these, if you're able to earn one of these down the road, this is not something that's easily earned, but if you are able to earn one of these things, your friends aren't going to believe that it's real. So what I'm also going to send, if I send you one of these, I'm also going to send you one of these. This is a Quantum Zilch certificate of cognitive activity, certificate of authenticity. And what this does, this certifies the authenticity of this. And the way it does it, it's very simple. This will have a 14-digit code on here, a numeric code, and then also we'll have a 5-digit alphabetic code. On here, this will have a 14-digit alphanumeric code and a 5-digit alphabetic code. And it'll also have my signature. But if these codes, if they match, that means that it works for the certification purposes. But if it doesn't match, then it looks like you might have a forgery on your hands. Anyway, That's the end of E3 of QZ E3. That's the end. And I hope to see you in QZ E4. It's time to power it down. And we'll see you next time. In the meantime, take care of yourself and look out for one another.